Well, here it is. The printer has come, and let's open it up. I have no idea what's in this box. I'm hoping that it comes with the Ace. Let's find out. Let's see, what do we got here? The Ace Pro Unlock Guide. Ooh, open the printer cover and use an Allen key to remove 2 screws marked in red as the picture indicates. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. First, I'm going to move this around a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. Nice little arrows here. Tell me where to take apart so I can get the Ace Pro out. So the instructions say I need a 2.5 to remove these bolts. So let's go ahead and take those out. Now that we have those taken out, I believe the Ace Pro will just lift right out. Let's take a look at that. Sure enough. There it is in all of its glory. This will heat the filament for you. It'll dehydrate the filament as you're printing up to 4 rolls, which is really, really nice. That's one of the reasons why I went with this particular printer as my upgrade. Looks like there's some guides for your filament. Comes with some tubing and a little bit of filament. Little test PLA filament there. That may come in handy later. There's a plastic slide right here. I'm not super crazy about it. It's a little hard to open, but you got some plastic filament guides there. It's a plastic liner with some plastic rollers, but we got some metal or some rubber rollers right there, and then you got the 4 different feeds. On the back side, looks like this is where the filament will come out, and you got your power switch and some little plugs here that I'll have to figure out how that hooks in, probably in the back of the main printer. All right. Let's move the Ace Pro out of the way for now. Set that aside and get a little deeper into the printer itself. Open the door. The door is plastic. We got some foam here, I think. The little quick guide says, just pull it out. Let's remove the kit. We'll go through this a little bit later. Get this foam out of here. And there you have it. Looks like there's a plastic mounted tray that the Ace Pro sits in. We'll have to remove that. Now that we got that removed, looking in the inside, looks like there's a plastic tray that we're going to have to remove. It was put in there to hold the Ace Pro in place during shipping. So we'll go ahead and get that removed. I think that was it. Maybe we try to plug it in and see what happens. Now that the plastic is removed, we can see the build plate here. It comes with a double-sided PEI steel magnetic sheet, which is really nice. And there's one other thing I want to show you that I really like. If you can see in the back, there's these two pegs, and the build plate has two little notches. So it makes it super easy to line it up perfect every time. All right, so let's go ahead and move the printer out of the way, and let's take a look at what accessories came with the printer. All right, here's the box that came with the printer. Let's open it up and check it out. Some paper here. Looks like one of the plugs that goes into the back of the printer. This must be the 4-to-1 filament. So all four will come in and then it will switch them out as needed. Power cable. Another power cable. Looks like an extension of the same plug that we saw in the back of the printer. It has a 6-prong to 4-prong on there. Some clear plastic deals. We'll figure that out when later. It looks like we have a little USB dongle, some kind of mounting bracket. We have a, this is a needle for cleaning out the extruder, most likely. A couple of extra screws. Lubricant not edible. Keep that in mind. We have a nozzle cleaning module. We'll have to figure out what that does at some point. We have a spool holder, set screws, and we have an activated carbon air filter. I'm excited to see what that does, because if the printer can scrub the air, then I don't have to have it in an enclosure or ventilated as much for different materials. So pretty cool stuff. All right, I did want to show you the back up close a little bit. There's the port where the filament poop will come out and during color changes. There's this little area here that I believe you can mount either a filament spool holder or the 4-to-1 holder that will convert, your filament from 4 different colors into 1 color. That would mount right here. You have the communication ports. I believe that goes up to the Ace Pro so that it knows what kind of filament you have. And then of course you have your power and power switch. This, I believe, is where the filament would feed into the machine and goes directly to the printhead. So the first thing that we need to do is free up the printhead. It comes shipped with a zip tie here that we gotta cut off. Being careful not to damage anything. It should come right out. kind of crunchy. Hopefully that was okay. There's a piece of foam right here that we have to take out and remove. And then a little bit of cardboard. Should slide right out. And we're good to go. Alright, so now we are going to install the Ace Pro on the top and get all the Bowden tubes hooked up and see if we can get some filament fed into the machine. First step, got to put on the screen. Alright, so what you'll need is the 4 filament hub screws. This is what they're calling the filament hub. And you'll notice the top has 1, the bottom has the 4. So it will go in like this orientation. And then a couple of the 2 screws go in the back. We got our Teflon tubes, as they're called. The Ace Pro will come with 4 of them, and all you gotta do is plug them in one at a time on the bottom, making sure they're nice and snug in there. Now, I don't know if the orientation here matters much, as long as you know what colors are here, it shouldn't make a difference. Alright, so now we got all the Bowden tubes put on. At some point in the future, I'm probably going to trim these down a little bit. That seems like an excessive amount. For now, I'm just going to leave it because that's how it came. Over time, you tend to trim these down anyways as things go, but maybe we won't have to do that this time. We'll find out. Alright, now we're going to hook up the Ace Pro to the printer itself with the provided cable. Before we go any further, let's do a little cable management, because let's be honest, if you don't do it now, you probably won't ever do it again. At least I won't. So, I'm not sure if I want to go this route, which actually looks like it would work just fine. Alright, the next step, power cables. Alright, the last thing before powering it on, it says to install the activated carbon filter, air filter, inside the printer. So let's do that now. Alright, we're going to open up the case. And you'll notice here in the back, there's a perforated plastic cover that pops right off. The hole is a little small, so I'm going to try and fold the carbon filter a little bit for a better fit. Kind of mash that in a little bit so it's nice and flat. And there you go. One other thing that I forgot to mention is that in my order of the printer, I got some filament. Except the problem is I have no idea what color it is, and I'm pretty sure it's ASA. I forgot. Let's open it up and find out. And the last one is a white ASA. So let's get these loaded up into the Ace Pro and do our first test print. All right, now that we have the initial setup out of the way, we're gonna do a power on test, see if we can level the bed and make sure everything's working correctly. I've got it plugged in. I'm gonna turn both of them on. And wait for the boot up. All right, so here we got the screen, and the first thing that comes up is the language, and we speak English, so let's go ahead and hit next. The region is either global or China. I will go with global. Now it's scanning for Wi-Fi signals. I will pick mine. All right, Wi-Fi is now connected. Hit confirm. Next, it wants me to connect to the cloud. I assume that I can install the app at this point. I'll do that later. Let's go ahead and skip. So now I can insert the link, or the little USB dongle that I got. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. The insert is right here on the side of the screen. All right, so I've inserted the dongle and the printer's come to life. The print head is moving around. It's doing X-axis detection, Y-axis detection, and Z-axis detection. Hopefully that's normal. I don't think that's supposed to happen. All right, now that I got those screws out, I have turned the machine back on, and hopefully if by putting the dongle back in, we'll get back to where we were with the setup menu. I'm hoping. All right, let's try to auto level the bed. We're gonna go into the control menu, calibration, and auto leveling, and we're going to hit OK. As soon as it's finished, we will try the input shaping option. Alright, so I've finished auto leveling the bed. Now we're going to run the input shaping option, and I believe what happens is it will reduce the vibrations caused by the high speed of the print head. So let's go ahead and try that out. So we have the gray here, and I will have it in slot 1, and we'll just Gently add it in like that. Seems to be happy. It's doing something. Although it's not really. Ah, there we go. You got to put it in a little further, and it'll grab that filament for you. All right, we got all the 4 filaments loaded and fed into the back. So we're gonna go ahead and close this and see if it works. All right, that seemed to fit okay with there's 4 different brands of filament in there and they all seem to fit okay. We'll have to run a test to see if they spin freely or not. So we're going to go ahead and set up what each material is. So we got the PLA. Wonder if there are. Okay. When it's purple, interstellar violet. Let's just go with purple. And then we have a PLA. Green and a PETG red. Awesome. So now that all of my filament is set up, let's see if we can print something. All right, let's run our very first print. This is exciting, guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but here we go. I got my clock set up to see how long it will take to print a Benchy. So you go to the top menu, test models, and it looks like they have quite a few to choose from. There's a PETG Benchy, a PLA Benchy, and an ABS Benchy, and some other one. There's like spiders and sharks and a dinosaur, all kinds of fun things. So we're going to do the PLA Benchy. We need to select the color. It thinks it's going to be blue. Let's see how we can tell. See if we can change the color. Flow calibration time lapse. Well, I think we're going to confuse it and say that this is blue, so that it prints from the number 2 even though it's purple, and we all know it's purple. So we have auto leveling, we have flow calibration. We won't do that. We're gonna leave the dryer off and we are going to start printing. So here's where we can select the color. That's actually cool. So we're going to go number 2 and start. right, there you have it, the Anycubic Kobra S1 combo. It was fairly easy to set up. It came right out of the box. It had very clear instructions that I did not read, and hopefully didn't break anything. But we got that figured out. We did, however, have an issue with the dryer, and I'm happy to report after updating the firmware on the dryer, it is on the Ace Pro. After updating the firmware on the Ace Pro, it is now working as expected. The dryer is working, and I believe has not given us any errors. Yep, it's still going. So that's good. That's good. We were able to print a couple of little Benchies. The quality is pretty good. I'm impressed with how well it turned out with just the basic settings. It took around 35-40 minutes to print, and I don't know, we'll see if we can get that a little better. And I got my first printer poop, which is kind of a lot, but maybe we'll get that dialed in the future, and which we will be making lots of videos in the future on this printer, as it is a brand new model. Hopefully we'll be able to help you guys out, figure out things if you want to get the printer or not, and yeah, we'll go from there.